Welcome to the Triax Compact Headend Service Tool overview. In this video, we're going to show you just how user-friendly and simple this tool is to use. Let's get into it. Okay, once we've put our headend IP address in, we'll come into our login page. We'll stick our password in and click login. This will bring us to the settings page where you can change the IP address if required. The next thing to note, if we come down the page, you'll see the device name, which you can install here. Make sure it is set to COVDM and of course Australian B. On the next line, come down here, get a choice of languages, and then you'll set the headend to the appropriate time zone. This one's being set to Perth, Australia, because that's where this headend is going to end up. And of course the country is Australia. Below that, you can put a device description in should you require. And it's always a good idea to have the installer put his details in the next section. Now if we scroll down a bit further, here's where you can activate the SNMP if you're utilizing it. And last on this page, you have the option to install a new password and save it. Now if we come up the top again, go to number 2, connections. Here we'll see DVB-T is already set. This is set based on the parameters we put in on the first page, and below that we have our satellite inputs. We usually put the first one on 13 volt vertical and the second one on 18 volt horizontal. We're not using 3 and 4, however you may use those for an international service. All right. Tab 3 is our inputs tab. And here you can see we're utilizing one terrestrial tuner set to 7 MHz for Australia. And if we come down to the satellite tuners, you can see we're utilizing 4 satellite tuners. Come across to the right, you can see the frequencies we've set. And if you click on any of the down arrows, you can come across and check that the status is locked on. And obviously here it is. Close that up again. Now if we scroll down, you can see you can have up to 16 satellite tuners. We're only utilizing 4 at this point in time for this customer. Come up the top to IP inputs. Nothing here because the customer has not selected any IP inputs. Go back to RF. And if you come across to the right hand side of the screen, you can see the service list for all the available services based on our inputs. 4 is our CAMs for our encrypted services. Look on the left here, our service list. First of all, you'll see the terrestrial services that do not require decrypting. If we scroll down, you can see where we've allocated CAMs to the encrypted satellite services, the ones that have been chosen by the customer. Scroll down a bit further, you can see more of the chosen services. There's a group at the bottom here as well. All right, we'll just scroll back up. On the right, you can see the actual CAMs themselves. We're utilizing 3. The green bars indicating how much of the potential of each CAM we're currently utilizing. If we come across and click on the down arrow, we can see which services are being decrypted by that particular CAM. This one's showing all blue ticks and green dots, so everything is good. Come over. See, CAM number 3 has a red dot. That means there is some sort of issue here. Click on the down arrow. We can see that we have a descrambling error on 2 of the channels. Now I know why this has occurred. This has basically occurred because we changed the perceived location of this headend from Brisbane to Perth. We'll need to rectify that before we send this headend out to the end user. Just come back and close that. All right. Our next tab is Scrambler. We won't be looking at that today. Tab 6 is Outputs. And if we look on the left, we see the service list again. And you can see the destination on the right column. It shows which output the selected services have been allocated to, And as we get down further, we can see all the services that were not selected by our customer. We'll just come back up. And on the right, we can see the output channels that are being used. We're using 5 of a potential 16 channels. And of course, the green bars again indicate the percentage of each channel that is being utilized. Now, if we come across and click on the arrow, we can see which services have been allocated to that output channel. All right. Blue tick enabling the output for those services. We'll click that shut and click on IP output. Nothing there, of course, because we had no input, as we saw earlier. Okay, tab number 7, LCN. This is the local channel number. This is the number you're going to see on your television when you select a particular service. As you can see, 26 is ABC News on this particular head end, and you can work your way down the list and see what number has been allocated to which service. That's about all we need to look at here. Come back up, we'll go to our last tab, Overview. Overview by name, overview by nature. You can see all the relevant details for all the services, where they're running to, what they've been allocated to. If you come across the other side, the only thing you'll see nothing in is the HDLCN, because we're not utilizing that. Don't worry about that. And if you're happy with everything, you can come across to Save Configuration at the top, and you also go to the bottom and click Finish and Save. And that's it. That is the Compact Headend Service Tool complete.